Yo, what's good? Top of the top, episode 235, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And it's just an episode, some topics you may want to hear about. Salute to you as well. Podcast available on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you prefer to listen or watch podcasts, you will find Stash House Podcast available. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. It is Thanksgiving week, so everybody traveling the road, spending time with your family, your loved ones, friends. If you're working or if you're just planning on chilling, hope everyone stay safe. Be mindful of your surroundings, all that good stuff. If you're listening to this podcast while making your trips, I highly appreciate you as well. A lot to talk about this week in both the music world and the sports world. So let's get right on into it. First, no place for me to start. Ohio State versus Michigan this Saturday. It is rivalry weekend in college football around these parts. We got the Alabama-Auburn game, Georgia versus Georgia Tech game. But y'all know my main focus is focused on the game, Ohio State, Michigan. A lot of implications with this game, of course, bragging rights for another year in terms of rivalry. Whoever win this game will represent the Big Ten East in the Big Ten championship game, and of course, major playoff implications as well. So let's get right on into it. First off, with different storylines for both teams. First, with my Buckeyes, we've lost the last two games against Michigan. It's been a hard pill to swallow. I know the 2021, if I'm not mistaken, game, I was at the airport rushing to get back home. I got back home around the second quarter, and it was just all downhill from there. Last year was a tough one as well. But this year, I feel it's a must-win, not only for Ohio State, but definitely for Ryan Day. It's a must-win game. I ain't going to say what better shot you got at winning against Michigan this year, but what way to lose, if you were to lose, what way to lose against this year's Michigan team with everything they got going on. So I do feel like it's a must-win for Ryan Day. Of course, we're going into the game, first-year quarterback Kyle McCord. I haven't seen nothing that made me super confident that he can get the job done going into Michigan at that in this game. So I'm keeping my eye on him this game as well. Of course, our running game, Trevion Henderson coming alive. We got Chip Traynor back there. A couple of our wide receivers as well can get the running game going for us. Wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Heisman hopeful, possibly play his last game at the Horseshoe this past weekend against Minnesota, and possibly this weekend his last game against Michigan. So I'm sure he's looking to have a big game. Ibuka, Cade Stover, we getting guys situated on offense, defensive side. They need to get healthy because, like I said, Michigan has a lot to prove this season. They won the past two games against Ohio State, but I feel like this game this year is probably the most important game for Michigan to win. I know it sounds crazy, but if you know the storyline going on with Michigan this season, I'm sure they're going into this game with a chip on their shoulder. And on top of that, they probably feel like they should be ranked higher than Ohio State. So what better battery to put in their back than to have their coach be suspended for a second time this year, a second term, plus having Ohio State being ranked over you. So a lot of things going into this game, but back to Ryan Day. I feel like the outcome of this game will prove if his seat becomes hot or not. Like I said, after last season with that loss against Michigan and the loss against Georgia, his seat definitely got warm in my opinion. But I think this year, this game will determine if it becomes hot or not. So we'll see how it goes. Michigan side of things, like I said, situation with Harbaugh, this is the second time he's been suspended this year. He was suspended for the first three games at the beginning of the season, and now he's suspended for the last three games of the season as well. First time was dealing with some hamburgers or something like that. This time, of course, the accusations of sign stealing, all that commotion going on with that. And I said it from the beginning of the season when he was suspended. He had said something behind the scenes because you don't see the NCAA just nitpicking with a coach this way. I understand if it's against the law, I'm not against the law, against the rules, it's against the rules. But at the same time, it's like they're picking on him a little bit more than they normally pick on coaches or a team for a situation like this. This is possibly the year that Michigan can go on and win it all. I mean, if it's not this year, then when? They got the home field advantage in this game. They feel like they should be number 2, maybe number 1 seed right now as well. A lot for Michigan to prove this year. And I know it sounds crazy, like I said, after beating Ohio State the past 2 years, but they have nothing to show for it. They lost against TCU in the playoffs last year. Is this the year for Michigan? That's my main question. Is this the year for Michigan? We'll see how it goes. Keys to victory for my Buckeyes. Keys to victory for my Buckeyes. Get off to an early start. I don't need none of this second half. We come alive and show what we can do. We don't need that from the get-go. We need to get the ball rolling up and down the field. We need to take advantage of being in the red zone. We coming away with too many field goals in the red zone. Of course, you'll take the points when you take the points, but at the same time, when we in the red zone in this game, we need touchdowns. We don't need field goal kicks at Michigan. Hostile territory. Kyle McCord, he's been here before with Notre Dame, but this game is a little bit different than Notre Dame. This is the rivalry game. So Kyle McCord got to get up and down the field. Ryan Day, Heartline. Once again, play calling. Ryan Day, we don't need no trick plays early. Hey, man, if it's a 3rd and short, just run the ball with Trevion Henderson. If it's a 4th and short, just run the ball. We don't need these wide receiver sweeps, even though they can be successful. We don't need to do too many of them. We don't need to get wide receiver screen happy. Kyle McCord, he ready to air the ball out. Let him air the ball out. You know what I'm saying? I understand how Ryan Day play calling works by now. We don't need too many wide receiver sweeps. We don't need too many wide receiver screens. Just keep it basic. 3rd and short, run it. 4th and short, run it. You got Trevion Henderson. You got Chip Traynor. You got receivers who can run the ball as well. Don't make it more difficult than it has to be. Please, Ryan Day, please do not make it more difficult than it has to be. Like I said, get the running game going, that open up things in the passing game. Possibly last Michigan game for Marvin Harrison Jr. You know he's ready to show out. Give him the ball. Give him the ball early. You got Cade Stover for when we in the red zone. He can make plays. Ibuka, he probably coming back alive, being healthy again. Come on, man. We got the weapons on offense. We got the weapons on offense. We should not be stagnant in this game, in my opinion. Defense been playing great all season. Do not pick this game to take the game off. Do not, if it's any game of the year, you do not want to take off. It's the game against Michigan. Defense, you've been showing and proving yourselves all year. Do not take this game off. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the pedal. Get some turnovers on both sides of the ball. We don't need penalties, dumb penalties to set us back. Come on now. It's a simple game. We need to keep it very, very simple. We don't need to overdo it. Just stick to the plan, and I feel like we can come out with a W. I'm confident we can come out with a W. Does the Harbaugh suspension play a role? It does. But at the same time, what better motivation does Michigan have to not only win this game but to beat Ohio State without their head coach on the sideline? So it's a two-way street. I'm confident that he's not on the sideline, but at the same time, I know that's the fire that Michigan needs to, at home at that, to get the job done as well. So Ohio State need to play mistake-free ball, time of possession. I don't need too many quick 3-and-outs. I prefer no 3-and-outs. I prefer every time we get the ball, we put some type of score on the board. But time of possession playing the role, take advantage of the red zone, field position, special teams. I make sure I say something about special teams in this game. Field goal kickers, punt returners. Do not fumble the ball. Do not miss kicks, vital kicks at that. I'll make sure I mention the special teams. Penalties, like I said, turnovers, and defense, man. Do not take this game off. Make sure you get firms, 30 tackles, get some turnovers as well. And I'm confident. I am confident that we can get the job done. But Ryan Day, Heartline, Kyle McCord, that's really two. I'll include Heartline, yeah. Ryan Day, Heartline play calling. Kyle McCord. Our defense has showed improved this season. They can get the job done. Our running backs have showed improved, and our receiving core has showed improved. It's just Kyle McCord and that play calling. But this weekend, Ohio State, Michigan, the game at noon. Y'all know where I'll be. Now let's talk about some new music. A lot to get to in the music world. First off, Chainz, Lil Wayne. Welcome to Collegrove, the follow-up to their Collegrove album in 2016. 21 records, Features, we got 21 Savage, Usher, Fabulous, Benny the Butcher, Vory, Rick Ross, Marsha Ambrosius, and of course, narrated by 50 Cent. It give us like that power feel, like it was like a TV show or something. So I think the narration by 50 Cent was a great touch on this album as well. Overall thoughts on this project, a great follow-up to Collegrove. A great follow-up. I think this album will be slept on, just like the first Collegrove album will be slept on. Great collaborations. Production was great. And like I said before, 2 Chainz bring out some of the best in Wayne. Of course, Wayne has different variations now where he can give you rapping Wayne like we all love. He can give you too much pussy talk Wayne, like, you know, it's cool when it's cool, but we don't need it all the time. But when he does that with 2 Chainz, it's like, okay, if Wayne were to talk like this, I'd rather hear the perfected version of it rather than him just come on and saying anything. It's like 2 Chainz. In a way, it seems like you'll think when they in the studio working together, he knows I'm with 2 Chainz, so I can't be playing around like that. So I love to hear Wayne with 2 Chainz. Overall, like I said, I think they picked the production very, very well. The narration by 50 Cent was a great touch. It was broken down to 5 scenes. If you look at the track list and everything, and they said it on their Instagram, if I had to pick and choose when the album really picks up, I'll say around track 8 or 9. Whenever that Usher song came on, it was some songs before that I liked. But when the track with Usher came on to really the end of the album, that's a solid stretch for this Welcome to Collegrove project. My favorite tracks, the G6 record, the Big Diamonds record with 21 Savage. What kind of full circle moment that is, having 21 Savage on the Wayne and 2 Chainz album. Of course, we had an interview years ago where Lil Wayne thought 21 Savage was a group just to show how out of touch he was. So it's cool to see 21 Savage with Wayne and 21 Savage with 2 Chainz. That's Atlanta rap politics at its best, because we had a situation with Bankroll Fresh years ago, his passing. Well, not allegedly, the guy who did it, no plug, he's in cahoots with 21 Savage. Of course, Bankroll was rocking with 2 Chainz then. So a lot of people were like, why we never got a 2 Chainz 21 Savage record? That was just Atlanta rap politics. Just the thing I always say, when out-of-towners say, like, yo, Atlanta, they stick together and whoop-de-whoop, they always feature on each other's songs. I'm like, yeah, for the majority, but it's still situations where if you in the know, you know. And 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne, not 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz and 21 Savage situation is a prime example of that. So it was great to hear 21 with Wayne and 2 Chainz. The Long Story Short record I really like, Millions From Now, Transparency with Usher, and apparently Chris Brown. I'm not sure if it's like, y'all know in the music business they say like, yo, I had this song before this artist or whatever the case may be. Apparently Chris Brown had this same hook that Usher was singing a couple years ago. I saw people saying it on Instagram and Twitter, so I went to YouTube and like, yeah, it's the same exact hook. So I'm not sure if they just chose the Usher version over Chris Brown version, but it was years ago Chris Brown had this same exact hook that Usher is singing on. They both did a great job, but you know, I understand 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne grabbing Usher. I understand that. So yeah, but that song is very, very good. Transparency with Usher. PPA featuring Fab. This is one of those situations where I was like, yeah, too much pussy talk can be a lot, but just this one song, I was like, okay, cool. Just give it to me on one song, and I appreciate it. But I really like that record with 2 Chainz, Wayne, and Fab. Oprah and Gayle featuring Benny, probably my favorite track on the album. They all caught bodies. Benny blacked out. I love to hear that from Benny. Makes me more excited to hear his album coming up very, very soon as well. But that's my favorite so far on this album, Oprah and Gayle featuring Benny. Godzilla featuring Vory, Crown Snatcher, and Can't Believe You featuring Ross. I love that dynamic with Ross, Wayne, and 2 Chainz. Like I said, overall, I'm not mad at this project. I feel like it will be slept on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it is one you got to check out when you can check it out. Like I said, it's 21 records, a good bit of time as well. It's not like a quick 21 songs. It's a full-length project with Wayne and 2 Chainz, and I think they nailed it. Honestly. Like I said, that track with Usher to the end of the album, I really, really like a lot, and I'm not mad at the 50 Cent narration. Puts like a good serious television show vibe to it overall. So kudos to Wayne and 2 Chainz. They did it once again. Welcome to Collegrove. If you haven't already, check it out. Also in new music, Drake, Scary Hours 3, 6 records. This was announced Thursday morning, and as soon as I saw he announced this, I knew the question I was going to ask myself when I pressed play. Where was this on For All the Dogs? This is what we wanted. Once again, another artist shaking back the way I like them to shake back off an album I thought was disappointing. Was it songs of For All the Dogs I like? Yeah. I came on here and said I like a good 11, really 10 if you don't want to count the interlude. But I would definitely take those 10 records I like on For All the Dogs compared with the 5 I like on Scary Hours 3. I could have dealt without the last song on Scary Hours 3. I could have dealt without the last one. But those first 5 combined with the 10 songs I like on For All the Dogs, you put that together, give me that 15-song album, that's For All the Dogs. We having a way different conversation about Drake this year. But he didn't do that. Am I glad he did Scary Hours 3? Of course. This is my lane where I like to hear Drake rapping. We love you and 40, but hey, man, when you and 40 get together nowadays, we'll like the songs we like, but at the same time, I'm like, man, it sounds like it could have been on Certified Lover Boy. Like, it just sounded like too many throwaway tracks, which you're a great artist, you're going to make good music that I like here and there, but for it to be consistently good, man, go link with Conductor, man. The track on here with Conductor sounds better than 8 a.m. in Charlotte. And people thought I was tripping. I was saying, yeah, we love timestamp Drake, but the Charlotte one, he wasn't really punching like I like him to punch. Scary Hours 3, he was punching like I like him to punch. You know what I'm saying? He still had some bars here and there where I was like, okay, we'll let you pass because you in that mode, but at the same time, man, link with Alchemist, link with Conductor, tell Boy Wonder to pull you up something that has you rapping. The track with Cole, that's my exact example from first-person shooter to this song with Cole, Evil Ways. I said it. Yo, I get it, man. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Big 3, I understand that, but I'd rather just hear y'all do lyrical exercise. I don't want to hear about the number 1 records. I don't want to hear about none of that when you with Cole. You and Cole get together, yo, man, who had the better verse? Ooh, Drake said this, Cole said this. Lyrical exercise, man. Put all that accolades. Both of y'all got accolades. Everybody's getting accolades in the game today. You know what I'm saying? Like, streaming numbers, everybody doing that. I get it. But, man, just give us some lyrical exercise. Let us debate about who had the better verse rather than who our personal top 3 or number 1 is. I'm getting tired of that. I always say y'all can have, in sports, music, whatever, y'all can have the top 5. Y'all can have that conversation. Let's talk about bars. Let's talk about the verses. Come on, man. So that's what I like to hear from Drake and Cole. I think my favorite might be the intro, just because he blacked out. I like My Brother Them. I like that one. What's the one where he was like, at the end, he was like, she talking about James Harden. I like that one as well. Like I said, I like all of them except the last one. The last one I probably could have dealt without. He announced him and Cole is going on tour. They dropped the first-person shooter video as well for that. So, yeah, overall, this is basically what I wanted for All the Dogs. You could have gave me about 6 more of these. I would have been straight. But really, if I just take the 10, 11 I like on For All the Dogs, put it with the 5 I like on this project, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you don't got to pack the stat sheets. Just give us a good solid 14 to 17 album. Give us some of your best work, and you good, man. You good. So that's what it is with the Drake project. Next up in new music, Andre 3000 making his long-awaited return. New Blue Sun, 8 records, instrumental, flute-centric album. He announced it earlier in the week, and I got so tired of seeing the fake public outrage. He came out and said, y'all doing a flute album. Cool. That was my first thought. Would I love to wake up and see Andre say, y'all dropping an album, rapping, I'm back, whoop-de-whoop? Of course. Would I love to see Big Boy say, yo, I'm featured on Andre album, getting the Outkast reunion? Of course. But the man coming out saying he giving a flute album, being that for the past however many years, the videos I've seen of Andre 3000, he's been on the corners. He's been in subway stations. He's been in the library. He's been at coffee shops playing the damn flute. So the man saying, yo, coming out with a flute album, something I've been doing for the past years, cool. Wake up on a Saturday, Sunday morning, get your ass up, grab you a vacuum or a mop, get all your cleaning supplies ready, and throw it on and just go with it. We all want to hear a rapping Andre 3000 album, yes. But man, the man giving you a flute album, bro. Just do what you do when you cleaning up and throw the jazz music on and have a good day. The fake public outrage, bro. It's like, come on, man. Now, if it was out of left field, and I was like, wait a minute, you playing a flute album? Then I'll be confused. But the man been playing the flute for, I know, at least 5+ years. Who knows what he was doing back in the early 2000s? Who knows? But I know for a fact, I've seen Andre 3000 videos of him playing the flute for at least 5 years now. Even on the first track, he tell you what it is, man. I swear, I really wanted to make a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time. Words have meaning. So let's hope and pray that the next time the wind blows, it throw him into a rap album. And on top of that, he's been giving you verses for the past however many years. I don't think people talk enough about the Donda verse, Life of the Party with Kanye West. That verse is amazing. He's nominated for a Grammy with Killer Mike this year. He gave you a verse on Anderson .Paak album some years ago. Rick Ross, 16 Ain't Enough, still holds weight to this day. Do we want an album from 3 Stats? Yes. Do we want an Outkast reunion? Yes. But man, let these people live, bruh. We don't always get what we want. I saw a clip. Tyler, the Creator, at his Camp Flognaw festival, he was like, y'all want some new music, right? Fans going crazy, whoop-de-whoop. He said, well, I always wanted a daddy. We don't always get what we want. It just went to the next soul. Like, we don't always get what we want as fans. It took people bashing Drake for all the dogs for us to get this man to rap the way we like him to rap again. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. And from Andre 3000's standpoint, he was saying, y'all don't know what to rap about. I get it, but at the same time, like, yo, we had a lot of stuff going on in the world since the last time we got a full-length album from you. But at the same time, man, the man probably don't want to talk about certain things, and he know for a fact, this day and age, you drop an album, they're going to comment on it within the first hour. The album could be 2 hours long. Within the first hour, they're going to say, oh, this is trash, this is a classic, this whoop-de-whoop, this what. He probably don't want to deal with all that. So, you know, I'm going to give y'all something something smooth, something soothing for your mind. Like I said before, man, just grab you a mop, grab you a vacuum, get all your cleaning supplies together. Go back like how your mom and your grandma used to do back in the day. Clean the house up with some soothing, smooth music on. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, maybe next time the wind will blow him to a rap album. Just be patient. We need something calm and soothing. I'm getting tired of all this drilling and killing and all. We need something just to relax our mind a little bit. But I did get tired of seeing that too as well. Y'all got to open y'all mind up. I got tired of seeing that too. So, Andre, do what you do, man. You deserve it. How about that? He deserved to do whatever he wanted to do. There's a few artists out there who deserve to do what they want to do. They just choose to confide in what social media wants. They could choose to confide in what's trendy these days. Just be your own artist. How about that? Be your own artist, man. Go with the vibe you want to go with. Don't confide in what's popular, what's trendy, because that's here today, gone tomorrow. A jazz album, I'm positive, we might not even know it's an Andre 3000 song. We just be in the Uber and just be like, man, it's some good jazz music. We'll go to Shazam, Andre 3000. Damn. Because I guarantee you, I don't care what nobody says, I guarantee you can listen to this song all weekend long. In 3 months, somebody can play this, you can probably say, who is this? Man, this is that Andre 3000. Oh, shit, I forgot. Yeah. Read a book. Go to sleep to it. Do yoga. Do anything you need to do in terms of a jazz instrumental album. But being fake mad about it when the man been showing you for years he plays the flute, I just found it outrageous. I found it very, very outrageous. So that's in terms of new music. That's what I was caught up on. I am going to listen to the 3 Stats eventually, but like I said, I'm waiting until I get that mop out, that vacuum, that cleaning supply, and do what I do. So we had the Andre 3000, New Blue Sun. We had Drake, Scary Hours 3, Collegrove 2. Welcome to Collegrove, I'll say. 2 Chainz and Wayne. That's when I've been up on over the weekend. If I missed something or if it's something y'all think I should check out, let me know, and I'll be sure to get up on it. Now, staying in the music world, going to take a quick left turn real quick, talk about these Diddy stories that's been going on the past week or so. I've seen multiple stories throughout the week. Of course, the big one was the Cassie accusation. That's been settled. We'll see where it goes from here, but it kind of opened a lot of people's eyes like, yo, what about Kim Porter, that situation? What about other artists, other women? And like I said with R. Kelly, when I first started podcasting, the Surviving R. Kelly doc came out. And I was like, yo, we've heard stories throughout the years about Kelly. But when that doc came out, that's when I personally was like, whoa, like, damn, we heard those stories. We kind of just bypassed them. And with Diddy, we haven't heard stories like that, but we heard stories about Diddy parties and people in the industry, how they talk about Diddy. We've heard stories, so it's not surprising. Any of these stories I saw wasn't really surprising to see. It was just like, whoa, Cassie, they dated. It's been a situation that's been, situated, but at the same time, who knows how many more people may come out. We'll see how it goes. It was kind of random because, like I said, Cassie and Diddy being split. She's moved on to another situation. It got settled very, very quickly as well. So all I can say is we'll see where it goes from here. We'll see where it goes. That's something you really don't play with, those type of accusations. So the best thing I can say is we will see where it goes. A lot of people in the industry has either came out and said something about it or they've kept quiet because Diddy is liked for the most part in the industry. So we'll see where it goes. That's not a situation you play with. That's not an accusation you play with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not condoning it, none of that. If you a sicko like that, you a sicko like that. You know what I'm saying? Music aside, if you doing stuff like that, that's very, very sick behavior. But like I said, we'll see where it goes from here. Now, the wild stories, I'll say, like, that's a crazy story. That's a wild accusation Cassie did. But that's something, I don't play with that. But these other accusations on some, this man might be the boogeyman. First, I saw the Cassie accusation. So I was like, damn, like, if this serious, somebody needs to, see what's going on. It got settled very quickly. So it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. Then the next story I saw, somebody came out, I was like, yo, such and such, who's a manager or whatever of Kid Cudi, it's not funny. The manager or whatever of Kid Cudi has came out and confirmed that years ago, Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, yeah, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. Like, if Kid Cudi went in his car and cranked up the car, he probably got blown up. Like, what the? So I saw that. I saw another thing on TikTok where a guy was like, yeah, I was at this party. This when Diddy and Cassie was dating, and Wale was flirting with Cassie, and Diddy was like damn near hanging Wale off the balcony at the party. I was like, wait a minute. Now, we heard stories of J. Cole and Diddy fighting. We heard stories of Drake and Diddy. We've heard stories of Diddy getting to it with people. So I seen this about Wale. I said, I never heard this story before with Wale. He was flirting with Cassie and Diddy hanging him over the balcony. It's crazy, man. And like I said, really honestly, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. For what we know about Diddy, stories we heard, interviews, television shows, making the band, I believe Aubrey Day, if I'm not mistaken her name, from Danity Kane, she came out months ago, talked about Diddy. It's circulating now. The reason why Diddy was giving back his publishing and all that to different artists for different situations, none of it would be shocking to me. We've seen Diddy do some wild stuff, whether it's television shows with making the band, interviews, shit. I attribute his whole role and get him to the Greek based on his personal life. If you want me to be honest, when you watch Get Him to the Greek and you watch Diddy performance, you're like, wait a minute, he playing this role a little bit too good. Being on drugs and being a music executive, and he's playing it a little bit too good. So we'll see where everything goes. I'll be crazy not to even not talk about these situations because, like I said, there were serious accusations going on with Cassie. It's been settled. It got settled, I want to say, within 24 hours. But we'll see what happens from then till the near future, whatever. Is more accusations coming about? Will she continue talking about this? Was it a money grab? You got that situation going on, two people saying that. We'll see where it goes. But I just had to come on here and talk about it because we've seen it before with Kels. Yeah, we seen stories pop up. We seen DVDs and Whoop-de-whooping. We just bypassed because we stepping in the name of love. With Diddy, we've heard stories throughout the years. From killings, Tupac, Biggie, what his situation was with those two murders. It's been a lot of stuff said about Diddy throughout the past 20-something years, man. So we'll see where it goes from here. But I would be foolish enough not to talk about this on this platform after I just praised his album months ago. You got to talk about the positives, you got to talk about the negatives. It is what it is. So to wrap up this episode, I'm going to talk about the WWE Premium Live Event, Survivor Series, War Games, this weekend, this Saturday. A lot going on this Saturday. We got the college football games. Then we got Survivor Series at nighttime. Looking forward to it. The card overall, it has potential, but we have to see how it play out. Of course, they got the men and women's War Games match, so we'll see how it goes. First match, we got Carlito versus Santos Escobar. Really the first LWO storyline I can think of that they've kind of executed, because the one I can think about is not really LWO, but it was the Backlash they had in Puerto Rico, and that was really more about Bad Bunny than it was the LWO. But now they got this thing with Carlito and Santos. Carlito came back recently. Of course, he's a heel, so I figured something was going to happen, because I'm like, well, Carlito is more known as a heel than a face. He's with the LWO. Santos calls Rey Mysterio the match against Logan Paul. So I see what they did there, but at the same time, it's like, well, y'all finally got an LWO storyline going, and now it's going to be like a turmoil thing where Santos may lead the group. Santos, who I thought should have been the United States champion anyway, so we'll see how it goes, but damn, finally they got something with the LWO, and this is the route they go. So it is what it is, but I got Santos Escobar winning that match over Carlito. Intercontinental Championship match, we got Gunther versus The Miz. Two great Intercontinental champions going at it. I do think he'll beat The Miz, but it's just great storytelling that The Miz is a well-known Intercontinental champion in his career. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental champion in history. So I think it's great storytelling with that. Of course, The Miz great in the ring. Gunther great in the ring. I think it'll be a great match overall. But I wonder where they're going with Gunther after this in terms of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season. I wonder where they're going with him. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying I wouldn't be mad if they throw a curveball, have Gunther win the Royal Rumble with the belt, have an Ultimate Warrior type of situation at WrestleMania where he can win either Seth belt or Roman Reigns belt while still being an Intercontinental champion. That's the route I would like to go. If you're going to beat Roman Reigns, it needs to be more than just, I won the Royal Rumble, I beat Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins can lose his belt any given moment now, I feel like. And I'm riding with Gunther, whatever. I've been saying that. I've been saying I'm riding with Gunther. So I'd love to see him have the belt and still win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania and have both of the belts. That's what I'm going for with Gunther. So I got Gunther beating The Miz. Next up, Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. They're just trying to find somebody to compete with Rhea. It's going to be difficult for them because I think they dropped the ball early in her title reign. So, I mean, it should be good. Zoe Stark, she did stand out in the women's Fatal 5-Way I think they had, if I'm not mistaken, at the last event, Crown Jewel. So I think Zoe Stark will be a great opponent, but I got Rhea Ripley winning that match as well. Women's War Games, we got Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus the new Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, Kairi Sane, and the SmackDown's Women's Champion, Io Sky. I always thought War Games were 5-on-5, but I guess this year they're going with the 4-on-4 route. I got Damage Control winning this match. A lot of variables going into this match in terms of Damage Control. They just recently added Kairi Sane after Crown Jewel. Then they added Asuka. I know they said Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io have a long history. They used to be partners back in the day, so that's some great storytelling. Everybody's looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with Bayley in Damage Control, because it looks like she's like the odd person out right now. Of course, Dakota Kai is still hurt, so she's just there in terms she's like a manager type role, really, but she's the injured person. So, of course, they had to shake things up with her being injured, but everybody's thinking that Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Asuka are going to team up, turn on Bayley. Would that mean a Bayley turn face, getting back with Charlotte, Becky Lynch, them probably? Who knows? Becky Lynch came back. She joined Team Bianca. I guess Bianca is the team captain. She joined their team. People thought it was going to be Jade Cargill, but it was Becky Lynch. Overall, I think it's going to be a great match, especially with Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. I'm sure they're going to be jumping all around the cages in that match as well. But what we're looking forward to seeing is Damage Control. What's going to happen with Damage Control? At first, when all this happened with Io Sky becoming the champ, I knew eventually the collaboration of so many women in the group were going to take place, especially when Kairi Sane came into place. Now you throw Asuka in the mix. I feel like it's going to get overshadowed of her being the champion, but it seems to be playing very, very well. It seems to be playing very, very well. We still got to see what happens with Team Bianca as well, because you got Charlotte over there, you got Becky Lynch over there, so we'll see how it goes. A lot of women now just trying to fight their way into getting to Io Sky, kind of, but she has so many women surrounding her, really kind of blocking them, and I'm sure the women that surrounding her, eventually they want to be champ too at some point. So a lot going on with Io Sky and Damage Control. Looking to see how they play this out in the War Games, going into Royal Rumble, and of course going into eventually WrestleMania. So a lot going on in the world of Io Sky becoming women's champion, but we got to see how they do it. Storytelling, you know what I'm saying? You could do some twists and turns. It got to make sense. So we'll see how it goes. And, of course, the main event, we got the men's War Games match. We got Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins versus Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Dominic, Finn Balor, and JD. Once again, I thought it was 5-on-5 because they was teasing Drew McIntyre linking up with Judgment Day. And then with the video going around to Cody Rhodes saying they got a friend as well. People are rumoring that Randy Orton may return as well. So we'll see how it goes with the men's War Games match. But I'm going to say, man, at this point, man, Judgment Day just got to stick a fork in him. I'm not vibing with, so I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes, them team, honestly. Even though Cody Rhodes, them team, is kind of weird. Coming from WrestleMania in April till now. You got Jey Uso teaming up with Cody Rhodes, a person who he helped cost the championship, and Sami Zayn, the person who beat him for the tag team champions, and of course Seth Rollins, who has a history with Roman Reigns as well. It's just weird what they did with Jey Uso, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Being that WrestleMania, I was there and I know what happened. We know the storyline of Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. It's just weird that whole dynamic. Then you got the Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins situation. It's just very, very strange to me. Sami Zayn was upset with Cody and Jay for winning the belts. So they got some stuff too. I hope they put that on display in this match. The friction, the low-key friction, I'll say, that Cody Rhodes teams has as well. Judgment Day seems to be back on track, even though, like I said, I'm not really understanding the hype around them. Like, I get it, they got the belts, but at the same time, it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? They call a spade, but, I mean, I guess it's definitely a different dynamic than it was when the Bloodline was in the War Games last year. It's not as, like I said, the dynamic is not, you know, like when Bloodline came out with Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo, Sami Zayn last year, you knew the big dogs had walked in the building. When Judgment Day come out, it's like, all right, that's Judgment Day. We see them every week. Like, if anything, just stick a fork in that whole storyline of Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. Like, we've been seeing it for the past however many weeks and months on Raw for the main event. The open dialogue going to be Judgment Day, and Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, and the main event is going to be the same thing. We've been seeing it for months now. So, who knows what will happen? Who knows if this is a situation where Seth Rollins is beat up enough to where Damian Priest cash in his Money in the Bank? Who knows? JD finally a member now, Judgment Day, what kind of role he'll play. Who knows? Drew McIntyre, like I said, Randy Orton is rumored as well coming back. We'll see how it play out. But for me, I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes' team. We'll see how it play out. So my predictions for Survivor Series War Games, we got Carlito versus Santos Escobar. I have Santos Escobar winning that match. Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus The Miz. I have Gunther winning that match. Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. I have Rhea Ripley winning. Women's War Games, I'm going with Team Bianca Belair. And Men's War Games, I'm going with Team Cody Rhodes. So this has been episode 235, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great week, great work week, great school week. Once again, Thanksgiving week, stay safe on the road. Have a great time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Eat good, drink good, stay safe. Be mindful of your surroundings. If you're just chilling, watching football, do what you do. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.